There is victory for us. There is victory for us. In the struggles of APC, there is victory for us. For us, oh yes. For us, oh yes. In the struggles of APC, there is victory.
Very good evening, good afternoon, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Depending on your day, we will follow this program. Now, from the ABS or our Doctrine, ABS, the post of everyday politics, we will lock program with the live, the APC U.K. live online TV platform. And first of all, on behalf of the producer and then the team behind this program, I want to apologize unreservedly the fact that we don't go off the 2 weeks. The reason is there are mitigating circumstances to another explain, but all I can say to you all is to say sorry, sorry, and that's not the again. So let me actually make up for the last 2 weeks. We did not come live. Today we get a very important topic. We will be going to address it. I want to ask you at this moment, say, just help us share far and wide, because we have a very important topic tonight, and then also very, very important guest then. We in ourselves will get a lot for take home with tonight. So please, in the interim, let me ask you all, help us share far and wide so that we get plenty people will come and can benefit from this very educative program. The program is to do with the debates around the dual citizenship in Sierra Leone. So we want these debates, we want a lot of people to be part of this debate. And let me just remind you guys that during the program, we will open the phone line so that you will be part of the program. The diaspora right to vote is basically a debate that is very close to the hearts and minds of many people in Sierra Leone and outside the country. It don't bring a lot of acrimony in the debate and social media, finger pointing. So it's fine for we all able for be part of the program. Tonight, as I say, I get very, very, very important program. Guest them way will be with me in this program. And one of them will be the president of the TUSIM, when a Superman, Comrade Superman in London will come and can give in take on this issue. And mark you, we follow the developments in the parliament. We find out there's a lot of bills then they with the SLPP hold, and then we don't make a promise. The government of His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio don't tell we say when then come na governance, and even after they don't come out and then they in record say they don't make many or several promises or commitments they say, then they try for expunge section 76(1)(a) na the 1991 Constitution Act number 6 of Sierra Leone, where currently a very discriminatory, and it prohibits the diaspora, not just diaspora, but people them way na dual citizenship carrier we're not able for. You can vote, but you cannot be voted for. So basically, for those people who wanted to contest for parliamentary seats during 2018 general elections, they were restricted. And because of this, there's been a lot of acrimony. So tonight is a very important program. We don't hear a lot of MPs them na the well don't make a lot of very, very, very big claims them around the debates. So today you can get the facts, and the fact now they give very objective facts. They give you everything. They try today for dissect everything within the dual citizenship they about the for and against the arguments. Again, ladies and gentlemen, where did this all started? Like I said, sometimes in October, 1st of October, in the year of our Lord 1991, the Constitution of Sierra Leone was enacted. And since then, there was this clause that was embedded in the Constitution called clause 76(1)(a), as I've said earlier on. And that clause don't gain at the Constitution for a very long time, nearly 27 years since the Constitution was enacted. It just really slipped. renowned lawyer called Francis Gabidon, sometimes in 2018, he came and opened the lid. The midway open, it can for educate people and say there is a clause in the constitution, even though we did not be applying before, but that clause is very clear, which is the clause which we are talking about today. So since then, there's been so much problem. And I actually witnessed that problem there in 2018 as a member of the assessment team for APC for the awarding of symbol, where they be assigned me a potluck with me comrades them. So we see how that clause come into play. So fast forward, this did not happen, then we don't get the government, as I say, they make these promises, and even the president is in record for say the clause will be expunged. It's very discriminatory, and the intention here for Sierra Leone to join other countries them way they actually apply international best practices. So therefore, let every citizen them way born in Sierra Leone, be they have and get dual citizenship or not, let them face the people and then try for contest for something, because it's their fundamental human rights. But ladies and gentlemen, the cartel now I get guess them way get for can today. But first of all, let's start the conversation here. The dual citizenship, according to Francis Gabidon and Inyun team, is not alone. That's a lot of Sierra Leoneans them way they support say that law must be maintained in our law books. And why they say that? Well, I think them believe say no more. There's an argument we say all powers we governments they enjoy, it rests over the allegiance of people, the inhabitants of a country. So in other words, for let government function or for let even government come into existence, there should be an allegiance to that government. If people they don't get allegiance to a government, then a government they cease for exist. So therefore, according to this belief, we derive from an old doctrine, as old as during the feudal period, when they call the doctrine of perpetual allegiance. As you say, every citizen on planet Earth is entitled to one citizenship or nationality. And the reason to this, according to this doctrine, is that, which is where people like Francis Gabidon and Sidon, they say the issue of allegiance and citizenship are inextricably linked. In other words, they go one in one. They all go together. So one not they go without the other. So therefore, where there is no allegiance amongst the citizen in a country, that country would actually grumble. So that is their argument. So therefore, when it comes to citizenship, it's a choice to the individual. If you renounce your citizenship because of greener pasture or you don't go to another country and you want to come back, you are obligated for you drop that citizenship or you don't go take. So because according to them and according to this doctrine, when at the doctrine of perpetual allegiance, citizenship and allegiance are two sides of the same coin. They go side and side. So that is their argument. So therefore, then they urge the government and then the Parliament of Sierra Leone say, make them not do anything to that clause. That is their own argument. The other side of the argument is this, which we talk say, even though the doctrine of perpetual allegiance don't dey for donkey years, as I say, feudal period, we all know it's very long time, isn't it? Countries they don't actually progress over time. There's been a couple of hundreds years, and where first of all, where the enlightenment increase, then can find out say there is no objective standpoint for argue say the concept of citizenship and allegiance are two of the same. They say no. In fact, according to this new argument, they say the two concepts are mutually exclusive in both meaning and context. In other words, they all not mean the same at all. And then go further for say, allegiance is something where you derive from the consent of an individual. Allegiance, I repeat, it actually emerge from the consent of an individual. And what is this consent? ABS seated here. If me get two citizenship, but me allegiance, I mean no side. It's just like a way we in a relationship, especially people when they go into one or two relationship. Your allegiance can always day, no matter how you get one side when I your allegiance day. So it's the same thing. So therefore, allegiance, according to the new theory, it's God's given. That is a fundamental human right that cannot be taken away from a person. It should not be confounded with citizenship. According to them, citizenship now government they create them. So you see how the arguments kind of fall apart. And then it's not just stop there. There's been extraordinary cases that don't take place now some countries around the world. America is number one. Bear in mind that this now old doctrine, the doctrine of perpetual allegiance. When America they fight for independence, they don't get independence, then people will rise up and say, you know what? We not feel say this will forgo with this doctrine. That led to the revolution at that time. And the waiting happened, the American government actually come and bring in what's they call the 14th and 15th amendments in order for give the citizens of America the rights to dual citizenship. And then do so by bringing in what they call the 1795 Citizenship Act. Very cool in America. So you can imagine 1795, when America and get to seek the dual citizenship right. So in that dual citizenship right, they make them very explicit that the individual gets right for change in allegiance from one country to another. And hence the reason why today we go to countries like America and UK and other advanced democracies, we get people in the own through dual citizenship because for them, can be based on the allegiance which will be changed from one country to another and you get right to change that. So this is how America, and in fact, there's a case where happened in 1873 where the past judgment the Supreme Court case, very serious case then in America when a Carlisle versus the United States. The Supreme Court actually ruled in favor of Carlisle for saying, yes, in citizenship or in allegiance is not something where for be subjected to in own citizenship. They are mutually exclusive concepts. So that is how the issue don't actually evolve over time. So what is the state of play in Africa, basically? Because as much as we say the people and way they support, say, dual citizenship not for participate now with politics in Sierra Leone, there's been development in Africa. And listening to some MPs in the aisle, you find out, say, they were very economical with the truth. I don't listen, I don't follow, I don't want to name names, but I don't hear any MPs, especially from the current government, and come and do some kind of very disturbing claims to this dual citizenship. They attract a lot of skilled research. Even some countries they wouldn't talk to, they're not allow them to do the dual citizenship. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to tell you tonight, without any fear of contradiction, that out of the 54 countries in Africa currently, 38 of these countries they only allow dual citizenship. 14 countries still prohibit dual citizenship. And you get a country where for make 39 when Namibia. Namibia still then get a citizenship act where prohibit dual citizenship. But what will happen in Namibia in 2008 and 2011, the High Court of that country ruled against the act. The rule says the people that were born in Namibia will come overseas and can't take dual citizenship for several reasons. These people should not be deprived of their original Namibian citizenship. Twice, the courts don't rule against the act. So in a government, not three arms. You get parliament, the executive, and the judiciary. So the judiciary slap that legislative act say a not day in the interest of the people of Namibia. So by default, we can say because of that ruling, Namibia is currently by default a country where they allow dual citizenship added to the 38, a give 39. Now let's work out some percentage. 39 countries out of 54 countries, that's now 72%. That means a staggering 72% of countries in Africa currently, they allow dual citizenship in their country. Only 26% or 25.9, you round up, they get 26% of them countries and now they go with the doctrine of perpetual allegiance, which means they're not allowed dual citizenship in their country. And Sierra Leone is not, when Macam 54, basically it sits in the middle. And why is Sierra Leone is seated in the middle for now? And there's a good reason for that. 2006, Sierra Leone actually go ahead for amend the citizenship, 1973 citizenship acts. They amend them, and part of the thing we then do, basically, where that's act has been ended, but we only came where we understand about this more. So some of us were not legally minded during the judgments of the case between David Fona and Dr. Kande Koleyum Kela and others. Where this was 2021, where the courts shall say a use that 2006 Amendment Act for say citizenship. You cannot. But again, we have a problem here because on one the way actually understand law. Sorry about that. For the one that we understand law, then tell we say when you have a conflict between an established act of parliament and a provision in the constitution we express, let's say the constitution reigns supreme. So now we don't get an amendment, an act where they don't amend 2006. We don't give people away old dual citizenship nationality. The law is already there. But the reason why the law not able to become operational because there is still this section 76(1) in the constitution. Until and unless parliament repeal that, then obviously that section still reigns supreme over the amendments, Citizenship Amendment Act of 2006. So this is where we are. So I think by this understanding, we can safely say, Parliament actually, we can say with a call on Parliament for say, if they not do this now, then that will amount to a dereliction of duty, because they don't give it an amendment. We don't mind what that be doing before. Parliament is Parliament. It's a Parliament of Sierra Leone in 2006. We amend this act, forgetting that there is a section where they sleep. And by the way, something happened recently for we were to follow the debates, the public elections bill 2022 within a parliament. We find out say we then come submit the two constitutional instruments. We find out say the 2012 Public Elections Act and a section of the constitution, they already speak the same thing. So this is the same thing that don't happen, but Parliament don't do the needful this time around. And the only difference is there with a word. One day we say gross misconduct, and one day we say misbehavior. So misbehavior cannot be the same as misconduct. So even though the Constitution say a misbehavior, the 2012, I think one of them, the 2012 Public Election Act, talk about misconduct. And now this new act also come with the same thing, but Parliament don't even ask the Attorney General for let them define what is misconduct, because this is where government can actually do something with dubious. Then can more than come plant in a word way be say a very broad without definition. So what am I saying this? Because this current Parliament don't come and correct that mistake will not happen 2012. So I think say there is a duty upon them now for letting them correct the same mistake will not happen 2006 when the 1973 Citizenship Act of Sierra Leone was amended. We get an Amendment Act of 2006, even though there was an existing express section 76(1) in the Constitution would not be tried for resolve. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the argument of the dual citizenship. But again, I think tonight what we'll get for do is for us stretch the argument even further for Teluna why other countries then take and follow best practice. Now they allow people with dual citizenship to come in and get what they call a full political franchise. That means the ability to vote and to be voted for. I dey wait for me guest them to arrive, but in the interim, I just want to let you relax. Today is going to be a very, very educative. Imagine me not a parliamentarian. There's a lot of things them waiting behind the dual citizenship debate, basically, because until we dissect the debate properly, then you're not able to make an informed decision. Any decision where you make, you do them based on emotions. Then we need to understand the for and against arguments as I've highlighted. So sit back and follow the program. Very soon, I get Honorable Abdul Kagbo and Honorable Sir Emerson Lamina, and then also Comrade Superman for come. And I also get tonight a surprise guest. This is a monologue program. I can interview past 20, 30 people, and depending on the intensity of the topic and the interest people and show to it. Use yourself there for be part of the program tonight. I will display a number where they come in. Tell us what you think. Because let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, parliaments, they sit on right now. And if you see the last thing where we send our social media, we put on the categorically clear say the government of His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio. Now they don't make this promise. But again, how can you talk about for expunge section 76(1)(a), where up till now, as we talk, the government took out constitutional instrument in parliament. So the MPs are just sitting there waiting. The MPs cannot correct the mistake what happened between the amendment, Citizenship Amendment Act of 2006 and section 76(1)(a). They cannot unless the government's coming, or we get to see a private member bill. But it's too late. President Julius Maada Bio, you made this promise. Nobody forces you for let you come. You make that commentary. We don't hear it, even you, the leader of government business. We don't hear it. A lot of people, the SLPP, the information minister, or you name them. You know, all of the outreach team, everybody, and Yusuf Keketoma, one of the secretary or personal secretary or spokesperson to the president, they all don't make them claims there. So in a number of occasions say they will expunge section 76, just like we didn't do part 5 to the criminal libel law, and by extension the death penalty. So parliament is waiting for you guys. We don't want for them to come play psychological or revise psychological on the people and set the people them in war against the MPs them. The MPs are seated there waiting for you guys. They will count this instrument. Sit back, as I say. We get plenty for talk about. We get plenty for fill the gap. This is not ABS. We now the host of the monologue team, APC U.K. online TV platform, Everyday Politics. Sit back and enjoy this video.
According to the Greeks, we have the idiots, the tribal people, and the citizens. The first group of people are the idiots. The idiots are a group of people or individuals who don't care about other people in another group. They will be with the group whether for good or for evil. If the group is doing evil, they will support the evil. If the group is doing good, they will support the group. If the group is doing evil, whatever the group will do, whether it is evil or not, they don't care. They will stand and support it. Nothing will change their mind. And the tribal people are a group of people who look down upon other people. Not that they are tribalistic, but they look down upon other people. They think they are better than other people. And the third group of people, according to the Greeks, are the citizens. According to the Greeks, the citizens are people who think about the next generation. They think about the next group of people who will come and inherit them. So whatever they are doing, they do it for the benefit of the next generation. People think politics is dirty, but politics is actually not dirty. It is dirty people who make politics dirty. There is difference between party politics and national politics. Party politics is you belong to party X, Y, and Z, and you support them for good, for the evil, and for the ugly. And you will become sometimes a tool in their hands to promote evil. One of the basic explanation or definition of politics is the making of decisions in the management and distribution of resources for the public good. The management of our resources for the benefit of all. Politics will determine how your birth should be managed. Politics determined when your children can start school. Politics determined what kind of educational system our children will have. Politics determined what kind of job you can have. Politics will determine your family life and your family development. Politics will determine your financial lifestyle. Politics also determine your retirement from the age of 60, politics determines that. Politics determine your employment lifestyle. Politics will determine your debt management. From the cradle to the grave is determined by politics. From birth to death, your life is regulated by politics. So if you sit down and you are saying that country broke or country no broke, I dare inside, I don't care, I'm not concerned about it, then literally you are saying that from your birth, your education, your financial life, your employment life, your economic life, your retirement life, and your debt management life, you have sold your birthright to somebody to regulate it for you, and you don't care about anything about your life. That is why your vote is important.
Gentlemen, you'll be able to make a comparison between the video where somebody will appear to me as a pastor. They talk about what politics is and what politics is not. And just when you look at what's in the happen away, well, which is the Parliament of Sierra Leone, you know why? All this they happen. Now, because people want to do the wrong thing. People are playing politics that gets no bearing to the development of Sierra Leone, but for themselves. That's why they're fighting. If the politics of a country, it's about the betterment of the citizen. What you want or what you would expect to see is people sitting down, then they sit down and actually get a mature dialogue. Because what you go discuss in Parliament, it's not about you alone, but it's about the people that will not even get the power for go sit on a Parliament. We elect to the parliamentarians then. But no sooner you see Parliament descend into some kind of chaotic scene as you've seen in that video, it tells you people want to do the wrong thing. That is why we're here, the APC U.K. online TV platform. Even though we are APC, we try for dissect issues then. Without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity for introduce the first guest. He is the president, currently the president of the TUSIM in Sierra Leone. Then they call him Amanu Nasabi. They call him Comrade Superman, the president of TUSIM Global. Whilst we wait for the honorables them. And I know the honorable, when they say, or the society want for play, then at the already buy them. So now we don't get the other big devil long come. Agba, they are just put your phone landscape, please, for us, because we want to see you proper.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Landscape.
Okay, hold on. Let me just.
Thank you. So this is Comrade Superman, ladies and gentlemen of APC U.K. Now a very familiar name. Una know waiting. Na Superman, of course, the now and then host. And he's also the president of the TUSIM organization Global. Good evening, sir, Mr. Superman, and welcome
Yes,
to our
good
platform.
evening. Thank you very much.
If you make the video, just ASAM up. Let us see you find your head kind of. Thank you so much. Yes. Okay. There you go. So you are the president of the TUSIM. First of all, I want to ask you, what's in bring the motivation for form an organization called TUSIM Global? Come on in, sir.
Okay, then thank you very much, Mr. ABS. And I want to tell family, una do una all wherever una find una self. I want to tell you back, thank you plenty for giving me the opportunity for can talk on this particular topic. Me na the chairman for TUSIM Global. Why make we form TUSIM? Most of who did na people and will be disenfranchised at the last election, 2018 general elections, where we go contest na Sierra Leone for become members of parliament. They say we not qualify because we get dual citizenship. Now, after all that process there, we accept, but we say that particular law there, it gets the law we're not good now, we law book there. So we all need to see people from the United States, from Europe, from the United Kingdom, and from Africa. We all come together and say, let we come together, let we structure a plan in how we go able to sensitize the people first of all, and make the case say, this particular law is not good for we law book at all. It's not good for the country in development. It's not good for the democracy. It's not good in any shape or form for them now we law book. And this is the reason why. First of all, we actually say the question, why make most of we, whether in the diaspora, get to TUSIM? And the reason, front and center, cancel the fact that we want help with country. Because we all know, so whether in the diaspora, for some reasons, them, if you're not a citizen, now then country there, so you go get opportunity for study. You go get opportunity for do plenty to them, even for bring you relative then so for many second set to another country there, so maybe for medical reasons, maybe for education reasons, and so many other reasons. So basically, we decide for take them do our citizenship here, now for helping country Sierra Leone. So it is really unfortunate that in that process, the law salon will disenfranchise us. Now that make us say, "Oh, make the case," because the points and plenty. But that's one of the reasons we decide, say, "Oh, we come together, we will be done disenfranchised. Now you come work not for we again, but for the interest of the country." Because when you look at this lawyer, so subsection 1A of section 76 of the 1991 Constitution, the law in itself, it gets so many ambiguities there. Because it's therefore we say, you were common as salary before say, now they them born and bred you parents all, you grandparents all, now they them born, you now they go up, say maybe you don't become an adult before you carry the Western world. Because of you take other nationality in the Western world, you no go qualify, but you picking them where you can born now so. When they no one they go salon, they never sabi salon landscape better, no understand the language fine safe. Them automatically qualify because they don't make themselves citizenship voluntarily. And again, if you look at the word voluntarily, we also get an issue with the word voluntarily because we believe say now circumstances make plenty of we seek them citizenship there also. So was it voluntarily or now be the only option we get? Because if you not say you want to study now for great benefits you yourself and you can't see, but the only way you go to finance that study there, now when you become a citizen of this country, then you only become a citizen because of you want to study. You not get another choice. Because I say voluntarily, we get what you call intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation, and when they do something, just because no more, you want enjoy that thing, just want to do them for your own enjoyment, someone not for nothing. But we also get what we call extrinsic motivation. You get motivated for do something because of you get a separable outcome, or that reward will make you do them. Either you complete because you comply, or because you want to achieve certain thing. So we take back say even the word voluntarily also gets interpretation and not correct. So we take and say, now we come together, now we talk to we brothers and sisters in Sierra Leone, members of parliament, and people in governance. Now we tell them, say, yes, lock in there for a long time. But still they can come upon the watchman and Lord, if he sees something where people say, in not they up to date, in they serve una country well, una go say, no, Lord police law. Lord, we amend this law, Lord bring law, we go serve with country well, and make law. So that all things in the answer and so many other reasons then now it make this TUSIM organization global. We come together, we say, maybe we can sensitize to people and now we talk to people, now open up, get an open debate with Sierra Leoneans and far and wide for tell them say this is not good. May they make this amendment for the good of the country. And like as you they say all around, we don't see most countries now in Africa. Then say don't believe say yes, this particular law where they get it not be good in the law book. May they do something for the interest of the country. May they make that amendment thing. Because they go and say no more, so we go along, probably we will come up with some of them in the answer. But primarily, this are the motivation behind why we form TUSIM Global and say, Lord, we continue this fight, Lord, bring come this sensitization, Lord, bring come these debates to all Sierra Leoneans for the good of the country.
Thank you ever so much, Mr. President or Mr. Chairman of TUSIM Global. I think one thing where you move me, you say you there for motivate people and for stretch the conversation around the TUSIM saga. And finally, we talk about this and look for an alternative way good for Sierra Leone and good for we all. We not get Francis Gabby on Naso, and I'll just make a disclaimer. I don't try this platform, don't try to reach out to people and they support for the government maintain the 76(1)(a), but we never forget none. But if we get somebody during the program where at least we open the phone line, you know, people we want for to see they not play parts now the policy of Sierra Leone, please let us know. But here I have with me the chairman of TUSIM Global, Mr. Superman. Thank you so much for that explicit explanation. And because we're here to give our viewers objective side of the argument, I want to stretch you out on something, and I want to play the devil's advocate. I'm here talking now, let's say, Mina Francis Gabidon. The actually arguments where people like Francis Gabidon bring come a space. Then say the whole thing about citizenship, whether dual or express, a hinge on the concept of allegiance. For them, they say allegiance, then say with allegiance, basically, this is how the powers of governments actually rest on the allegiance of people. So in other words, just like we get then and now TV, Wunawe Dede as management, if we not get allegiance to the program, then there will be no then and now. So therefore, the allegiance of you guys that are working in then and now, or the APC U.K. and ITV platform crew, if we not get allegiance, in other words, we're not attached to the program, then obviously the program they cease from actually existing. So that is their argument. So therefore, without allegiance, there is no government. So now all they're asking you guys, if Oleona go renounce your citizenship, you feel say the arguments of allegiance stand according to as you possibly represent a wide range of people the way be actually suffer under the TUSIM saga. Come on in, sir.
Okay, then thank you very much, Brother ABS, again for that very good question. And again, this is why we welcome debates, because it's good for us we talk about NTR. So because of let we put all things at the table, let we say Alonian brothers and sisters them far and wide able to make an informed judgment in relation to this. The matter of allegiance, according to what Gabi on the time for say, it make even the example say if Salone gets, for instance, you go get British citizenship. If Salone gets war with Britain, who say you go fetch for? And we know say that will be a completely hypothetical question, Because when you think of the military might of the United Kingdom and Salone, now a big misnomer, not only the two things not too comparable. But let me say, okay, if that kind of question is posed, the issue here is, we all know, say, as a Sierra Leonean, we don't born and go up in Salone, we number one allegiance to Sierra Leone. Because always what they do them for the interest of Sierra Leone. And that's, it don't magnify itself in so many cases. Because if you look at the amount of waiting, some of who they work in the house to, and the amount of remittance they send back home. Some people they talk and say they serve in all the go by remittance. So all what they do students here for, now for the interest of Sierra Leone. Although yes, no personal interest as well as the interest of Sierra Leone.
Yes, please.
The issue of allegiance, you always want to come up with this discussion they come. But again, make you always challenge people and say that particular issue there, to be honest, now a complete hypothetical issue. Because we know say once a Sierra Leonean, you're always a Sierra Leonean. Most of you are in the diaspora. We cannot the diaspora, yes, for better we serve, for better we family them, but also for better we country. We don't see people who are Sierra Leoneans them. We get opportunity in there for investment, for so anything. The first thing they remember that for go invest in Sierra Leone. The likes of the late Monsieur Fadika, we go to Africa Mineral in Sierra Leone. Where Africa Mineral go invest billions of United States dollars. We create thousands of employment. We get that opportunity from the diaspora. Not take and can go to that country or say that one. No, it take them directly in Sierra Leone. Because in mind all the time we in Ayasu is about Sierra Leone. How we say we will make less and move forward. How we will contribute in the development of Sierra Leone. So they find out say all the way to they do there. We aim them. We ambition them front and center now for how to improve the country, how to make society even better. This is why some of you even decide say yes, now we also contribute, now we also join the political process. Because by so doing, we also be part and parcel of the decision making in the country. So me, when I come up with this issue about allegiance, to me it is categorically no doubt say once a Sierra Leonean, always a Sierra Leonean, and your allegiance is always to Sierra Leone. It is clear, categorically clear on that particular side. For say, if I get an option, then give me say, okay, if I get this, make a dollar, not put up for the United Kingdom, or put up for Sierra Leone. Definitely, that's a lot to vote for. Because we all know that in Western world they are the disadvantage they face because of we now. Well, we were seen as somebody of a migrant origin. So we use the opportunity given to us here. Trust me, for maximize whatever we can gain from here for the benefit of we country. Like what we say earlier on, people the way get citizenship and then country there. And they want to bring an spouse. Most of the time, then they go back to Africa, then they will bring an spouse there. Then they go back, they will bring even picking out the left can also. Then they will bring their own parents can. So for education, for medical reasons, all of that, and the body they come out from Salone they can also. At the end of the day, for also health Salone. So to me, there is no doubt that Sierra Leoneans, wherever we do, whatever many citizenship we get, we front and center our number one allegiance not to Sierra Leone. And most of them say how they do so now for the interest of Sierra Leone.
Thank you ever so much, Comrade Superman. Thank you so much. I think say you don't try for nail the arguments of allegiance. And to be honest, I got for say this very clear. The argument of allegiance stands no more. Because the reason why I say this, allegiance, according to the new developments in enlightenment, don't say it the allegiance is not derived from citizenship. In other words, citizenship and allegiance are two mutually exclusive terms. They all day apart because allegiance, now mortal man, they get allegiance from the consent of an individual. As I be say just now, we now all day now and then until where you get consent, say you they help out for let una make then and now become a media empire. That is your consent where you make, and that is the allegiance. The moment where you actually renounce that, or you would say, you not forget anything for do with, let's say, they call about citizenship of a country. Citizenship is something that is given to you. Like Superman, you're born in Sierra Leone. Comrade ABS was born in Sierra Leone. Adams was born in Sierra Leone. Mustafa, the chairman at UK, was born in Sierra Leone. That cannot never change. So that is your citizenship. So, but I thank you so much. But without much ado, I really they try for bring somebody another house we now we current APC Secretary General of the Interim Transition Governing Committee, now a very fighter na the well of Parliament, no less a person, but honorable himself, the right honorable winner Abu Kagbo. My honorable, if you just put the phone again, landscape, I think it's better. We can see you better. Yeah, thank you so much. That is better. So if it's tilt them up, thank you. Tilt them up, let us see you because the head kind of cuts. Yes, okay. Come, okay, down again, down again. Thank you so much. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I have with me here somebody where don't command respect and admiration among Sierra Leoneans, them both Sierra Leone and then outside the country, not just from the APC side, but across the board, people who want to see better politics, people who just don't tire with Parliament just being an instrument of the government of the day. And this is no less a person who see him, not the full him, a man way at least you don't set the record amongst other MPs them when Honorable Abdul Kagbo. You welcome, sir. Say good evening to Fambulem, sir.
The Fambulem, good evening, and thank you so much, Comrade, for giving me the opportunity for address with people over the globe. Once more, I appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you so much. You just meet me in the middle of a conversation, and I remember I spoke to you behind the scene about the so-called aim of the government. I call them so-called, and I'm very careful about it because already a lot of things they happen about the Tusim saga and how President Julius Maada Bio, any operatives around day, record in several occasions say they try to expunge that section of the constitution. As a lawmaker, what is the state of play? When I don't get any understanding as to where the government stand in all of this, sir, come on in, my honorable. Can you hear me, my honorable?
Information. Yes, people get me.
Yes, we get you, but yeah, we get you, but the picture. Thank you. Yes.
Yes, I call the kind sign Adamic. Yes.
Okay.
One thing way I want to make clear now that the current bill where them go with the Parliament, it get lots of clauses we hinge on the Constitution. You cannot amend the Constitution through a bill. When you want to amend the Constitution, you come with the statutory instrument, with the constitutional instrument, you lay on a Parliament, we debate them, and we amend the Constitution. So firstly, we may get several clauses now the Constitution where they inside the bill. One of the clauses now the dual citizenship, where na 76(1)(a), it be there inside the bill. But we know literally pass inside the bill, you know, amend the Constitution. Then no work done. If you pass on the bill, you know, amend the Constitution and no work done. Because subsection 15 of section 117 inside the Constitution is say any law where they at variance with the content of the Constitution, that law they are null and void. So meaning if we pass the dual citizenship, we pass them inside this very bill, then we not amend the Constitution. It's still not legal. Because this Constitution, neither the ground norm, neither the supreme law will get. So any law where they at variance with the content of the Constitution, not to law. So we advise them say, this dual citizenship, where they inside this Constitution, on account with a statutory, with a constitutional instrument for a law amendment. We also advise them say, this, because now 4 commissioners, then the Constitution make provision for 4 commissioners. Now that we can get 1 more district when at the region, when at the northwest region, we be need for approve one more commissioner for the Northwest region, so that we go get 5 commissioners. Even then, we assure them, we tell them, say, on account with constitutional instruments, follow we amend that let be 5 commissioners. The constitution only make way for 4 commissioners. Then they are 32, section 32.2. Then also 32.8, now in talk about for change the word misbehavior, beside the president for sack the chief electoral commissioner or any member of the commission for misbehavior. So we change them from misbehavior to misconduct. To misconduct. So we advise them, say, in all of them things then they will don't do the 3 clauses that we want change. On account with the constitutional instrument, on account and a parliament, let we amend them. And we were willing to amend it. What in they do? Then come with constitution, with 3 constitutional instruments. Amendment for 3 constitutional provisions. First, now section 32.2, where states say instead of 4 commissioners, then we make them 5 commissioners. We amend the constitution, we change it to 5 commissioners. Then they come with section 32.8, where it shows the president for sack for misbehavior. We look to say misbehavior too common for let them sack person for. So instead of misbehavior, we take gross misconduct. So we change them from gross to gross misconduct. So we amend the constitution. Then the other provision where they come with now 76 1B. 1B now in talk for say you for resign. If you get any government work, whether they pay you from the consolidated fund, you for resign 1 year before election. Then come with them for amend that to 6 months before election. But then they no pass. The dual citizenship is then at 71A. 71A, they not ever carry it in a parliament. They not ever carry it in a parliament. So I want authoritatively say the constitutional instrument for amend the dual citizenship, let one get right for contest for members of parliament, they not ever carry it in a parliament. Waiting and carry it in 71B. We talk about the time where you for resign before you contest, and 32.2 we talk about having 5 commissioners instead of 4. Then 32.8 we change misbehavior to gross misconduct. So now them provisions then they normal we amend now the constitution. In fact, 76 1B we talk about 12 months resignation in no pass. They carry 6 months, say law change them to 6 months. In no pass na parliament. But nobody not carry 76 1A. We talk about dual citizenship for repeal and the constitution. Nobody not carry that.
Thank you ever so much, my honorable. Mr. President of TUSIM, the honorable don't talk, and that is the position where we stand. We believe, say, as much as President Bio, if he give you pan, he say make you eat. That pan they cover. If you all bread now you earn. Now for all amo not to earn. Because you don't know what's in the inside there. So say they go open there, and back they go meet you can cap that bread we get. They don't talk about this thing. We all read the bill as we honorable don't some very clear. There is something we seem to us as if then get this intention for come and expunge 76.1A. But you cannot do so without a constitutional instrument, as the right honorable don't say, because section 108 is very clear about this. So our feeling here, and we ask the SLPP just want for put we at loggerhead with some of our MPs. And let me just make this honorable here, me and I don't get a heated, it's a friend, it's a brother, it's a comrade, and now it's my Secretary General. I owe all respect. When it comes to the interests of the diaspora, I don't get a heated arguments with them, because I be there, I be lost. I don't know side and there, then the MP. The SLPP then come, then pre on with side as happy as if our MPs, they all only jump that the bandwagon of being rogues. Until later we begin for clean the fish, we find out, say, part of this fish is not what it is. So, Mr. President, you don't hear this. What statements will you get in response? Come on in, Superman.
Okay, and thank you very much. And I want to tell plenty thank you So Honorable Abdukabo and Ekoyi one of fine Honorable again in Sierra Leone. We're very grateful for all the good work they do. Now I don't clarify this issue because plenty people in the field say this election bill 2022. There's an amendment today for many amend the clause 76(1)(a). But he say no daily save now 1 billion counts. Okay, Honorable, the other thing I want to ask in relation to this, we'll be careful me no say the Honorable Kanye can be table a bill long ago. Where in back now something for do with amending this particular bill. Whatever happened to that bill, Honorable? Was that bill ever taken up for first reading in a parliament? Because apparently they say all the leaders of the party they all be signed up to the bill, but that bill will not be never know whether if they be table if they don't ever bring and come up for first reading or any sort of debate.
My Honorable, I request the question. I don't know if you hear what Superman say. You hear me, sir?
Yes, I get you.
Okay, let's just reiterate the question. It is time for talk say. First of all, there's been an amendment that the 1973 Citizenship Act, where give we the Amendment Act of 2006. And it is time for tell you again, say the Supreme Court of Sierra Leone, a day in record, then deliver an extraordinary verdict in the case between David Fowler.
But yes, I just clarify that quickly. This one not get what I better say.
Yes,
when this particular parliament begins Sidon, I think the first thing when it begins Sidon, we were meant to we were informed that Honorable Kande Koleyom Kela be tabled a bill where for deal with the amendment of section 76(1)(a). He said that bill they get support from both the opposition leader and the government leader in the parliament. What did happen to that bill? They ever table that bill for discussion, or what did happen to that bill? Because we never get any follow-up in relation to that particular information they will be get from the other people.
Yes, what did happen? Now that a right time it can go. But how parliament they operate, we get what we call the business committee. The business committee constitutes the leadership of parliament and the speaker of parliament. Now the business committee they determine waiting for day, not the other paper. Waiting we for discuss not the other paper. So we not ever get that request then at the other paper for law we debate them as a parliament. It not ever lay before parliament. It not ever come before parliament. And like I say, no bill not be able to solve that dual citizenship. They not a bill they solve. Waiting they solve now an amendment of the constitution. The constitution is supreme than any other bill. Again, at the code subsection 15 of section 117. Any bill where in content different from waiting then at the constitution, null and void. So the best opportunity we will get now where they come with the amendments them where we do so inside the constitution. They come with 3 constitutional instruments for amend. Then come with 32.2 and we amend them. Then come with 32.8, then we amend them. Then come with 76(1)(b). Where the House votes against 76(1)(b). 76(1)(a) now the dual citizenship. The age not ever carry it in parliament. So it not be ever face parliament for discussion. Anything where they inside the constitution, not to true bill, you the amend them. Or not to true an act of parliament, you the amend them. Now through the constitution, now you the amend them.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable. Again, I make gladly for getting at the platform because you clarify from some of the things and where plenty confusion in the day. But just a quick clarification. That means any member of parliament can come up with that constitutional instrument for me to go back the amendment or does he have to go through a committee for approval? What's the process? You as an honorable, will you be able to bring that instrument for amendment?
Yes. Now a constitutional instrument, it can come through a member of parliament, it can come through the AG. We can able do it. we can able to do am.
Okay, thank you very
But
much.
the process is like that.
The-
They get for go through gazetting. They get for go through the normal process.
Okay, that is great. Thank you very much. And again, we glad for getting on the platform because you don't like. I believe most of what they watch and we were the lead the organization, so we were able to deliver the correct and the clear message to members then. So I appreciate that definitely. Over to you, Modesto.
Yeah, before
Okay, thank you so much,
I want
Mr.
to give the opportunity for tell una thank you. We appreciate the sacrifices the way una they do. We appreciate the way we una own the party Obayanga. And genuinely speaking, some of we want una for participate fully into the exercise. In fact, una are the greatest contributor to the politics of Sierra Leone. Any party where they don't, una they say no, law help. And you cannot say, they send me money, they are not eligible. To me, it's not fair. It's been unfair. And we know, say, if everything been there in our country, we not for move out. If opportunities been there in our country, we not for move out. Look at how people that all lost job in our country. Look at the current state of the economy. Look at how we country they go. If you guys were here, on the world for don't they by the same sufferness. But the mere fact that on a move, go tap into the resources of other country, on a send them naya for develop the country, I believe say that they are the greatest investments we are going to make. So first not for use that for deprive una, not for participate in the electoral processes, and we, I tell you wholeheartedly, we want the 76(1)(a) for day before Parliament, and I tell you, say expeditiously we go debate them and we go. Let's tell you, we get some MPs then way too critical. Then they afraid say because the opponents then are diaspora, then for they against them, then for this, then for. But to me, it's selfishness. It's total selfishness. You know for say because you get opponents. If you're not MP, you work. If you're not MP, you work one. If you're not MP, you do what you for. If you're not MP, you able perform your function. You don't need for free. If you're not MP, you able represent the people in a parliament well. You don't need for free. If you're not MP, you don't need people. You don't need for free. Most of the one that will not do nothing at the constituency from both sides of the aisle. Be it SLBP, be it APC, most of the one that will not do nothing at the constituency, now then they against this thing. But I tell you, they assure now, the day they come before Parliament, they ensure that it pass because we able to convince majority of members of Parliament, let them vote in favor of her.
Thank you so much, my honorable. I think you've made my day, seriously. We fought over this, and because we not be understand one another, but we understand ourselves. And this is how it should be. And also, I want to let you forgive me, let you know the position how we did. Some of us are not even vying, but because of the role they play in the diaspora politics, we have to represent the interest of people, and even the silent one. We take and say this particular bill is discriminatory. And even listening to some of our colleague MPs in the parliament, when they give some bizarre arguments, it's just unacceptable. You understand? Then they give you very skewed arguments in the parliament with the area, but we trust una. We know so the right now. And also, before you go, the leader of government business, in closing remark, he make one statement. They say, let Parliament fight over the 2022 public elections bill. So therefore, we need to forget consensus as members of Parliament. They say when the bill go committee stage, all the contentious provisions where we don't challenge will be removed from the bill. I think that is hope, isn't it? We're not taking word and even talk about the NIN, and that was one of the things where some of us worry about. What is your take before you left with? We're not seeing a busy person. You know, we said to Jana, get other things to do.
Well, basically, this week, last week, and this week, don't be one of the most busy weeks then for members of Parliament, because we look at a law we get for determine whether we for can of power or we not for can of power. So now, law we get for treat with the utmost seriousness we deserve. We don't want to treat her with any kalu. We get various contentions then at the bill. One, the NIN, two, the PI system, three, the cancellation of election as a result of violence, and all of them things they did. So what we don't do now, most of them controversial things within our committee stage, but most of them controversial things we just stick a pin on them. Meaning we proceed with the debate, look at other clause, The then controversial clause, then they will left them first. Now they can't enter. And like what you say, they don't give the leader of the opposition, Honorable Chei Koko, they don't give the assurance, say then go remove some of them, all of them things, then they be very controversial because we don't debate and we don't make, they don't see reason. Say most of them things, then they go stop people not for vote. Most of them things, then go disadvantage people. Most of them things, then go prevent people not for vote. Now we say they come with NIN. How most people get NIN? And they say they go make 2 lines, 1 line, so 1 line. So you are when 1 line, so money will register. It is not na line take go now go fence something for it. Now go cook for me begin there. You see there you can make an 2 line. So we want to make the process very simple and we want to make them let attract people for can vote. So we they don't give me the word. They don't assure we. So when we go to those controversial clauses, then go make sure say they repeal them and go make sure say they remove them.
Okay, Mr. My honorable, final question before you go, before I bring Comrade Adams. We are listening an MP, I don't want to name it because we know they have to discuss but the claim where they talk about certain countries, them way in do research on the dual citizenship. For me, we don't find out say it's even wrong. For people who they follow the program, just look at the scroll bar. All of them countries, there are 38 countries currently in Africa out of 54. They all don't make dual citizenship part of their law books. 38 out of 54, which is 72%. So as you don't give it assurance already, but basically now for let in a see no more say our countries and the progress. And there's a good reason to it. 38 which is 72%. Now only 14 countries. Namibia will make 39 by default and Sierra Leone sit in the middle. So I think say this is a message one for let in a care go at the well and say, let us join nations them we're ready for do the right thing for them people them. The diaspora is an integral component in the governance of Sierra Leone. Our remittance system, not to think where the people them for deny on. We have to have a stake. Then besides, our allegiance is in Sierra Leone, my honorable. Give us your last word before you go, sir. I know you're a busy person.
Yes, I want to seize this opportunity for telling you thank you. We appreciate the work we do. We appreciate everything we do. The UK and I are one of the most valuable branches that we get as a political party. You know, we look forward so much on UNA. And basically, I want to seize this opportunity also for inform UNA say the rules then where we make the rules and regulation for the lower level, then they mature the 11th of next month. You know, but if they petition any clause where we put inside the rules, then PPRC they get another 14 working days. We have 2 weeks for lobbies to them and look at the rules, debate them, and then give a ruling. So basically, at most next month ending, we for done we rules and regulation and for don't mature. And when they mature, we give 2 weeks, 14 days, then we go into lower level. So we begin lower level mid-September likely. We begin lower level. That is for vote for ward executive, for vote for constituency executive, for vote for district executive, for vote for regional executive. And when we done that, the 28 days after, we go into national delegate conference. Also, we will get new executive where they run the party. Also, we go hand over with mandate to the substantive executive where we get for consensuously vote for run the affairs of the party. So far, so good. We are on track. Very soon, we can appoint the 25-man committee. The 24-man because the chairman already the court don't declare. Very soon we appoint the 24-man committee way for look into the conduct of all the elections then, you know, the lower level elections then. Then go make the rules and regulations, then go make sure say the rules and regulations they already did. But then go decide say well because of the people and because of this, now we bring more people them on board, now bring more witnesses them on board. So then we want to give them ample time for let them prepare. And at the end of the day, for let them able to achieve within they want. You see. So far so good. We are on track as a political party, you know, and I believe say there is every platform for 2023 elections.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my honorable. We'll let you go. Thank you so much. I think say you can't tell which side we stand, and then the president of the TUSIM Global is here, and I'm sure this your message will escalate some to membership on a global scale. Thank you so much, my honorable. We appreciate you. God cover una and God bless you, sir.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, whilst I let the honorable go, I get a guest with me we don't come right now, it go and come. But again, Mr. President, I'm not gonna let you go because this is your fight. We're here to help you succeed. When you succeed, your organization, which is to seem global, will get the credit and other people will help you. So this is what we don't understand. And we're not going to hold our breath because, Mr. President, the fact remains is the SLPP cannot be trusted. Then they tell you, say, now this the one for do. How can you bring a bill where seemingly one for expunge section 76(1)(a? You not bring a constitutional instrument, and you know that particular section is an entrenched clause. What do you think say they happen here? Come on in, Superman.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. ABS. And again, I appreciate greatly the honorable and the information we don't return to me. I appreciate and greatly I go to one of the finest honorable in the Parliament today. Again, this is what we're talking about: sincerity. The honorable don't make it clear to me. In fact, even in public election bill 2022, there is nothing about section 76(1)(a). So now one bit and count. But they went out there to the public, say, oh, we don't count when they are meant to see. And this is very disingenuous. You know, Sierra Leoneans, who forgot for they begin all people in authority accountable. You cannot be making short statements. We're not true statements. You come on at the public, we find why they come make a seem to say this particular that way and call it. The question, in fact, the bill cannot just be, you know, they can just cancel and bill. You have to make amendments for us, all those sort of things. But yet still, it's the surrogate and the old people they come and say, oh, don't count for men are meant to be this to see the every no one, so on and so forth. That is very disingenuous and it is really unacceptable. Because they're not going to fool the people and the question are not going to do so. Then therefore pass the information. And we don't get that information, the question say no more. People make sure say we spread them far and wide. For any people don't say no, that's not enough for you to see me at all. These people are saying something and they're doing something completely different. It is really unfortunate and really, really sad for a very serious issue they got. For when they play politics plan, many use them as a toy, you know, for denigrate other people and try to make themselves look good. But they don't do nothing about that. You see, that is really unfortunate. And again, although I dealt with you for long, for some reason, if I don't joining with me laptop, my phone, I don't know, for some reason, you know, overwhelmed. So you're not gonna be surprised, maybe you could log me out or something.
You don't go.
You know, so I hope say the phone will continue because it's extremely warm as all I'm here. I probably don't join in. So maybe if in case my phone go off, I go join in with the laptop. I want to make them clear to Sierra Leoneans in far and wide. So this particular law will not just be fought against them because some of who want to be MP, some of who don't want to be MP against them. But we just say this law is not good for we book. We all know say we get what they call a brain drain of the country. Where plenty people they study, where they get opportunity, then they left the country. And we can't make another barrier again. For stop other Sierra Leoneans, we go get the expertise, we go get the experience. For men go come in and go can contribute politically now we country. Well,
so, Mr. President, why you don't begin to talk about the importance of for let them actually expunge this thing? I think so we go there and bring in the public, let them actually make their own contribution. So now you're talking about the why them for make sure that Diaspora them participate. But I just want to take you on something pretty quickly, make I just pray and come. Way happened in 2018. And I they put this now the scroll bar so that we viewers can go follow this information. I was a member of the symbol awarding team in Port Loko, the assessment team for the awarding of symbol. Fambule, when I go see the information in the school bar, Port Loko gets 10 constituencies. What really happened when we make the assessments, we realized that out of the 10 constituencies, now only 5 women them vie. The 5 women they will vie for MP symbol during 2018 elections in Port Loko in particular, 10 constituencies, now 5. And I put the names them. When they see the names them, 5 people away with them call. Then we get Natasha Beckley, 75. Then we get Maramalo, na 69. Then we get Zainab Sharif Bangura, na 70. Then we get Isa Tupoto, na America, and then we also get one Aminata, na 73. We signed the late man Samba, and we get Issa now. We can't replace them. So there are 5 women there, so now them they actually vie. Among the 5 women that we vie, Mr. President, 4 of them then come out na the diaspora. The reason why to make this argument, what we talk to people like Gabidon, we didn't really understand is this: the president of the government of President Julius Maada Bio also they try for talk about a women empowerment bill in the parliament. But really, if you look at the statistics of 2018, if this statistics is repeated in 2023, so with that we go say here safely say we get more women them as aspirants with the common at the diaspora than the home base, and there's a reason to it. So feel say if the government of President Julius Maada Bio is serious about giving women them empowerment, is it not fitting for let them ensure that the diaspora they be part of that, considering the statistics? Come on in, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. And again, that is a wonderful point, Mr. Abias. That is a wonderful point because that this is a contradiction. The government said they want to bring affirmative action for make sure say women them go in a parliament at least minimum 30%. Now we know the challenges where the women them financially, culturally, and so many other challenges the women they face. Like when you give that example, so in Poloko district, out of the 10 constituencies, only 5 women vie for become member of parliament. And then 5 women aspire for become 5 women of 5 members of parliament. 4 of them come under the diaspora. So again, this to seem go also, if you not amend this to seem, it go also deprive the issue of affirmative action for women and for kinds of politics. Because we know most of the women they will come go and go into politics. Probably most of them they come out of the diaspora. So you see, so the for later affirmative action they work, the amendment of Tusim is also very important. Very important. Because in the suicide the woman them we go aspiring to Poland, going to politics, they come off from, but by and large, not from the diaspora. So therefore they stop the woman from the diaspora for men not to come and participate. Then automatically the government is doing some disservice. Because what they said they want to do, the chances of realizing that are very minimal without the contribution of women coming from the diaspora. And for well-known reasons. One of them is because of financial reasons. And also we know the kind of challenges them where somebody is there for vie for become a member of parliament, they face that country. So you see, so the issue of Tusim, this amendment of section 76(1) is very integral for able to realize this amendment they want to make for bringing this affirmative action for this 30% quota for women. It is very simple and clear. So all what you try for tell them is that this, una change this law belongs in our law book. Una bring the right instruments in the parliament, may they make that amendments there. May this law be something of the past. Because like I say earlier on, we go for make sure say we use the best of brains now we country. The best of brains. Because we country need them. The parliament is very integral in terms of governance of the country. In governance, the multi-party democracy we get, you get the lawmakers, you get the people who they implement the law, you get the people who they interpret the law. So the lawmakers are the parliamentarians then. The people when they implement the law, not the executive. And the interpreters of the law, not the judiciary. So then 3 arms of government are the integral for when they work well, for that democracy will work well in that country. For when they work well, for that we country will improve, for that we country will move forward. So any attempt for undermine any of them body they are so, will democracy not go function well, and we country not go benefit from democracy in our country. So it is very important that the government understand this. That people in the parliamentary, if say this is a disadvantage to them, many understand this. If you're not a current parliamentarian, you've already got the opportunity for work for you people. So if you don't work for you people, there is no reason for be afraid of any other opponents. That is all about the. That's all. See my.
Yeah, we're sorry about that. I think Superman informed the play out, and yes. So the case where it try for make is that if the president, His Excellency, where it trumpets in agenda of women empowerment, if he's honest about it, what he need for do now for give the diaspora them the right to vote and to be voted for. Because as things stand, research and that's I don't tell we say, and me na person way basically be part of that whole exercise as a former member of the Symbol awarding team in Local District. I be there with some of my comrades them who be the assess aspirants them for give them sim find out say 10 out of the 10 constituencies now 5 women them they aspire across 4 constituencies we I don't name so, and out of them 5 women in day before they all come out overseas they're all na diasporans them. Datasha Beckley, Zanab Sherif Bangura, Maramalo Bangura, then Aissatou Poto from America. So that don't tell you say you cannot succeed in ensuring that you get a 30% representation of parliament if you know actually and make sure the 76 1A in the constitution is expunged. And there's a reason to it. Part of the reason is this. Why do you think that the women in Sierra Leone, they actually see politics as a very hostile environment for them? Just look at the way this government they handle women. Take Lara Taylor, very educated, a woman way ready for serving country. Look the way they treat her, very disrespectful. Look how they treat the current mayor, Yvonne Akisoya, very disrespectful. Look how they treat the chairperson for Tonkolili district, Yabom, very disrespectful. Look how they treat even Sylvia Blyden. And for me, that story there is touching, even though I get reservation on the way they act. But within and do according to in your testimony, say when he be in captivity as a detainee male in this day and age, man and they go put hand per woman in private in the name of looking for a mobile phone. That is very disgusting. Very disgusting. So when women are reading kind stories there so, plus the economic factor where politics today, it don't become as something way very, very much expensive. Women and they look at politics as a domain for the bully boys. This is true. So the only people I'm way ready for take the sacrifice and act as role model with no respect to the home-based woman them as necessarily try. Look at the way Femi Cloyo School has been treated in number of occasions, intimidation after intimidation, locked up, very disrespectful. So when you put all of these things where they happen in the country in totality, just to make women them then look at politics as a medium for the bully boys, as they call them. And hence the reason why a number of people in Sierra Leone they don't see politics or even for stand for member of parliament as a way for basically ensure that this is a big part of the process. And the other argument in favor of the dual citizenship as the president of TUSIM, very soon they can open the phone line, is this. In the try for tell we say, over the years, there's been a Western policy where they call a brain drain agenda, where they come up with different immigration schemes them, where they attract people them from the sub-Saharan, well, across the third world nations, I would say. They come up with very enticing program them, the American DV, you get Australia, you get Canada, you know, they get so many programs, even at UK now, so they get different immigration things them with all what they do now for fish out people them with very efficient way or them productive na them countries then. When you don't care whether not for education, as you don't know no more, they send you for let you go do work experience. Now they employ, they see and capture you. So 9 times out of 10, then people know they return because they try to retain them because they don't see say the colonialism, not the work again, and even the conscription. What them do, all of these things don't come into very serious contention. So what they do, the white people, I will say this without being stereotypical, then they act smart. But we have to act smarter than them. So they come up with this scheme for bringing an agenda of brain drain. The only thing we're going to reverse that idea is by using the dual citizenship as a point of departure. When you open the political space in the country, and by the way, currently we get what they call a local consent act. How can you have a local consent act where ABS and others stay within the diaspora now with a jail with the potential investors for going to salon? How many can take an investor away what over billions of pounds for let it go invest in Sierra Leone? But because me get a restriction, me not a full citizen, the dual citizen, I say the local consent act, I'm not going for utilize some fully for let be the person we go be the main person who are the host for that. What they call it. In all of these things keep together. So we want people like Gabby don't let them think about this. The brain drain and agenda, and also all of them tell they which they call that make countries there, they don't move or on for make sure say they expunge this. And there's been cases them, you know, here and there, 72%. That is best practice we will follow. Out of 54 countries, only 14 countries in Africa don't left. What are we waiting for? So, but again today, it's very, very welcome news. We don't hear the Secretary General, and what he talk now, so the Secretary General of the Interim Transition Governing Committee, when Honorable Abu Kabo don't make them very clear, emphatically clear, say when the bill is actually submitted in Parliament, he will use in your skills and in networking in Parliament and convince other people so that the constitutional instrument will get a support of 2/3 majority. That bill discriminating clause will be expunged. So that another thing now one day, the brain drain agenda, you know, so other areas them it's more political and it's more sensitive. Which I don't hear, I not get for, but I try for actually bring in the people and I can't share the number. But relax wise, I try for share the number and listen what's in they talk about policy so that we can be able to make a meaningful contribution. Should the diaspora be allowed to participate fully, then forget a full political franchise. And we also talking about safeguards because some countries and we actually bring in safeguards, you know, and once some countries will say, even if they make you for you able for become MP, you're not able for for contest for presidency. We know say presidency is the high end, but also again, if that is the case, which means we get a lot of constitutional purging we need for do because again in Sierra Leone currently say for let you qualify for be a president, you must also qualify to be a member of parliament. That is what the constitution say. So in other words, if then they put a safeguard, say the holders of dual citizenship, they're not going to contest for presidency. That means that's part of the constitution must also amended, you know. So that is it. Sit back and relax whilst I can't share the number.
According to the Greeks, we have the idiots, the tribal people, and the citizens. The first group of people are the idiots. The idiots are a group of people or individuals who don't care about other people in another group. They will be with the group whether for good or for evil. If the group is doing evil, they will support the evil. If the group is doing good, they will support the group. If the group is doing evil, whatever the group will do, whether it is evil or not, they don't care. They will stand and support it. Nothing will change their mind. And the tribal people are a group of people who look down upon other people. Not that they are tribalistic, but they look down upon other people. They think they are better than other people. And the third group of people, according to the Greeks, are the citizens. According to the Greeks, the citizens are people who think about the next generation. They think about the next group of people who will come and inherit them. So whatever they are doing, they do it for the benefit of the next generation. People think politics is dirty, but politics is actually not dirty. It is dirty people who make politics dirty. There is difference between party politics and national politics. Party politics is you belong to party X, Y, and Z, and you support them for good, for the evil, and for the ugly. And you will become sometimes a tool in their hands to promote evil. One of the basic explanation or definition of politics is the making of decisions in the management and distribution of resources for the public good. The management of our resources for the benefit of all. Politics will determine how your birth should be managed. Politics determined when your children can start school. Politics determined what kind of educational system our children will have. Politics determined what kind of job you can have. Politics will determine your family life and your family development. Politics will determine your financial lifestyle. Politics also determine your retirement plan.
Politics determines everything, ladies and gentlemen. This is the APC U.K online TV platform. If you're just joining us, this is not the program when we call Everyday Politics. A new log program when they come on live from the APC U.K online TV platform. I think we don't eat very much into real time. We get now 9:31 London time, 9:31 p.m. London time, and the program is going on really well. I want to apologize the other guests who forget when our honorable Emerson Lamin not able for Lamin I'm able for show. Yet if it come, that's fine. But you know, if it come earlier on, but I think they get a connectivity problem. So that's where we are. The number is right there on the screen. If you're calling outside Sierra Leone, make sure you save this first of all. You can call me through WhatsApp 0044744-833-8290. If you call in mainland Europe or America is the same thing. You have to put a country code. But if you call us in the UK, the number is 044-4833-8290. Now for call we let be part of the program and make we talk. Let us talk. Politics is the determinant factor for everything. And I can always tell people that when they say politics is a bad thing, but politics is everywhere. We get the politics of the bedroom, we get the politics of the kitchen, we get the politics of the car park area. You see how even drivers and they play politics amongst themselves for let them forget and outsmart them company we can't forget passenger. You see even politics where they play at the business sector where they go buy something now even na abacha. You see when people and when they decide for outsmart you, if you're not possible for bagging property, it's all politics. Everything where they do, it's politics. Everything, even your relationship, it's a deep politics. You go to a kitchen, you see a woman says they set up in kitchen, things the way it puts priority. It's a decision-making process, continuous decision-making process. When you cook that cassava leaf, you decide which ingredients will go first. That decision is politics. It's everywhere. So politics is not a dirty thing. Now bad people and they make politics bad. And this is why we're here, APC U.K and I, for enlighten people and follow we all talk. So today, first of all, I say we apologize for the 2 weeks, but I think say today when I don't get something for Kego. So come on now, people. I'm waiting for your phone call. Call in and make your voice add, make your own contribution. The number is 0744-833-8290. Call us and tell us, what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think about all of this will happen? Waiting at your take. Please call us. We're ready for call us. At the C numbers in the beginning come. At the C numbers in the beginning come now. People will call in. I don't know who is on this line, and we can't talk to the person. So this is about the diaspora right to vote and to be voted for. A very good evening, sir. May I know who is on the line, please? Good evening, sir. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir. I hear you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, hello, me, sir.
Okay, welcome, sir. Can you introduce yourself,
hello?
Sir? Welcome. Yes, we can hear you live. Tell me what are you, sir, and why you call, sir?
Lawrence Fox in A Salon.
Oh, you're welcome, sir.
And anybody call like a diaspora bill.
Okay, go on, sir.
If I listen to that's a very good presentation from the Honorable and and Mr. What's the name of the man name?
Superman.
I listen to now all throughout. Yeah, so Superman exactly. So what you want to say is no contribution, make a quick to get people a chance. Basically, you cannot get a blanket amnesty to dual citizenship. Because I wouldn't say picking Bonnie as yourself. Now, if you go to some parliament, you don't understand the dynamics of Sierra Leone. Understand it? So, if you make a dual citizenship, you have to look into the limits of saying this person for going to turn parliamentarian. Understand? You have to get such a clause. One, if you're doing a salon, you sit to care or you sit was. Understand it? Or O levels or A level. Then with that, you can become a parliamentarian. Then if you want to put another clause, you can say, well, some president, at least if you don't get something you don't do now in today, did it. When you're possible, let the country 10, 20 years and not even do this. These are some of the things you look at. We're not going to discriminate against people who are dual nationals. And when they talk about allegiance, when a guy wants to talk about allegiance, what is his name? Gabriel talk about. The moment the work, the parents body are so big. Any country in the world knows that it's how born first. I never know for for you. Now, Salon Academy will fight for you. If I go Gambia as a dual citizen, then we take the full right to fight for me because the message Gambia is not my place of birth. Now, Salon, they left me and the people and see, just actually go marry the West. Yeah, that's analogy. If you marry the West, the family one can fight, you will take side effects because they would understand people, the last take side effects. But other things that can fetch you West, you know the triangle you pull. The same thing to the West, the same thing family in one pull here. So they're going to say like the family bloodline. So that the same thing to like a born at Salon. The co-op day. The same thing going through education day. The same thing to invest day. So they not look at them. You can look at them, you're not going to make a blanket say all dual citizens. That is not normal. That should be exception to the rule. If I didn't born, if they didn't say you sit to take care, or if they didn't say sit O level, so if you want some president, they begin going out to the maturity stage, and some lobby, not the take them. They make them. So you said you can look at yourself, see, you the person born day. If you get a mess up on your car abroad, you may say, well, this I don't get for turn this way. You should know that one thing. You put it picking, because that country also, for each time, the British citizen, from Boston, that we born here to go for the 10 years for. Because that's why they don't absorb the norms and the culture, they don't go to school, and the values, don't have it, and food, the McDonald's, so because I was born now, so the McDonald's and the producer, the rest of them are management and the manager. So that's how you make laws. We stand the test of times. But don't just make a blanket see. The people born here so can go to anybody in a salon. For me, because we voluntarily give up my citizenship. I said, I don't give up my citizenship, I take two. Because now, you know, I can understand they always say you give up one for take another one. But that country, they're not stupid enough, they make them two. Dual. Because they look and say, yes, this person can carry a country, but it get allegiance to your country. No, take that from your country. Because that country, they're not stupid. They use me as a dual citizen for go look at salon, but they could go up to the development of salon. Like Dr. Samuel come an example. We're going to salon day. I don't think so it's a dual set, but it's still waste themselves. And then sending out as a professional, as expatriate. So they can use as an expatriate. But they know involved in the politics. But you know the dynamics of Sierra Leone. So now they can look at them and say, we need dual citizens who owe allegiance to the country. And they owe allegiance to we. And most of the time, we owe more allegiance to the country than we owe our allegiance. I'm not Sierra Leone and I'm Britain. Who's that I'm Britain? I'm not Sierra Leone and I'm Britain. If I speak, I speak about salon. So they should not discriminate against us. That is wrong. And also, if I go to Marabou politics more, there are some people that are deceitful. And some of the parliamentarians, they can't go talk, and I let that guy. They're deceitful too because they think they win a competition. And the salon mentality that they think they win a competition. The other ones, they want to put money they want to put money on. So, when I want to say people that the people can say, Marabou, I want to go to some dual MPO, they want to go to system of money, then they make a minister, they want to Sakuna.
Okay.
So I want to get something. You ask me any question.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think say you don't begin lay the foundation for where we able for put safeguards them. And I just don't put something at this cold bar if they follow. And I'm sure you know very somebody way clued up into the policy of Sierra Leone, and you understand. Say there's been a Supreme Court judgment where then sort of like I think so we go use that as a safeguard as well. And this is what with the amendment act. They say any person
because you got that precedent.
Exactly.
Like how Abukar would tell you, you cannot use a precedent.
Exactly. So thank you so much. So thank you so much. Point taken, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks for calling. Thank you, sir. Thank you for having you. Bye bye.
You're welcome, sir.
So we don't begin here. These are the safeguards the both for begin talk about. We don't hear we don't get another caller. Make I just get this person way instead can tell we waiting a thing. Good evening, sir. Who is on the line? May I know who you are and tell us what you're calling for? Hello? Hello? Hello, good evening. Good evening, caller.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Good evening. I think, Sena, you said...
Yes, good evening. It's Delwyn Thomas calling from Northern Ireland.
Thank you so much for calling, Mr. Delwyn. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, come on in, sir.
Right. So it's more a question. Unfortunately, Superman no day, so you go get for answer the question.
Okay.
We don't hear a lot about this diaspora bill, but my question is, obviously the MP then at Sierra Leone, the home-based MP then get natural fare of the diaspora coming in with their financial clout, because obviously politics now money. No matter how well home-based MP do not in constituency, a diaspora where they aspire can do twice as much financially. If MP builds small school, a diaspora can build a bigger school. So the question is, how do you mitigate the fares of the home base to say if they change this bill and the diasporans could aspire to be MP, that they are not disadvantaged? So that was my question.
Thank you so much, Mr. Delwyn Thomas. And I think, this is the fear, because again, we have to be very fair to these people. The MPs, them. I remember the late man, may so rest in peace. Honorable Samba, where the day 73, where may so rest in peace. There was a time this man I bumped into him just before I answer your question during the assessment for the awarding of symbol. But when I talk to him, when he don't become MP, I meet him, enable for no one than me, and then also even the MP na Lonchar, where we do some kind of a desecration of social media very recently, but we're not going to talk that side, we're just the left that side. But again, for answer your question is this: there's been a genuine fear, and I tell you for free, a lot of MPs them within at this current parliament, had it been not for the alarm way Francis Gabidon Esquire be blow, some of them not forbidden at parliament. And just for that support you, Mr. Thomas, and for also try for tell with diaspora people as to why some people in back home in the afraid is this. When we go for the assessment, you cannot believe it in Port Local districts. You see the amount of money where the aspirants there for symbol in various districts where the diasporans them would them pour in. And Usai Samba, late Samba, Usai Honorable Issa on this now. We just win very recently. We're not the one at 56 something like that. Samara Bendugu, but the one the elections by elections before that, we get up to 3 MPs them way basically or aspirants them from the diaspora. So imagine when you put the economic powerhouse where the aspirants them put another side, there was no way for somebody late man even come. The only reason because the one when a male is late now, may so rest in peace. That be a very, very committed man at APC, he don't die. And then also Isatupo to win common America. So when you put in totality with them people that spend at that constituency day, you look at the way people actually come and then camp and the support base what they get during the assessment. It turns out to be that now then be the favorite people for winner. If the assessment was actually based on those factors, say if you get what they call the appeal of the constituency, which means people and deal with you. So yes, Mr. Thomas, your question is very, very, very dead in place. So in terms of how do we mitigate this, it's this. I think politics and money, as you rightly say, are inextricably linked. Money and power. It's just a natural something or something where it's well established across the world. Any south side you go, money and power now they work together. So it's a very difficult way to mitigate that. But I think as home base, what's in a need for do is this. Sometimes let us take this thing in the aspect of relationship. A much of relationship than today is commercial love. But some people and the way it be say they not get the money reach to the other person. But in the show a genuine respect, if my woman respect them, anytime with the woman they in need in terms of not like big money, but you always there for the emotional needs of that woman there. That person they spend money. And this is where the issue of allegiance comes as well. It's possible to say that woman they, yes, they elect the person we get the money, but allegiance they did to the man where they actually satisfy in emotional well-being as a woman, and we respect her. Because some people in get money not get respect. And we don't see this. Now various constituencies them. So what we're saying to our brothers and sisters, then we want for be MPs in Sierra Leone, the little you have, make sure you give that respect to your people. Them. It's very, very, they say nearest is dearest. Nearest is dearest. You are there with your people. Not just come for the sake of say when election don't come very close. Because I know some of my friends, even in the UK, where almost every month and they pack big box and they send them from different constituencies there for help people. Them. So you cannot fatten your pig on its market day. If you don't deal with your people them consistently, you deal with them genuinely, you support them. Believe in me, the money man, the money bag, they come and try for flex in money, but people, they think. And especially now in the APC, in terms of mitigate, because also money is not everything. The APC, for example, I'm not talking about other political party. Then when they give symbol, money is just all the things that we don't do physically in terms of pointer is just one thing. But there are other criteria we embedded in the assessment process. That is your loyalty to the party. The things we don't do for promote the party. And the promotion of the party for make sure, say, if you didn't have constituency, the constituency executive programs and other things the way the constituency in developmental program or the strides where they make for them become visible is shown out there. So all of these things are things that the people with their own base, if they play their role properly, these are things that will be seen, money not will come. There is a proverb we say you cannot use money to fight for a chieftaincy that is reserved for the strong. So if you na person way you be say you want to be MP but you get back home, but you apply yourself as the strongest candidates because you're very close to the people. You're there anytime they say APC program, they come shine. Somebody died at the constituency, you're there. You understand? And this is, I don't want to name a particular aspirant, flag bearer aspirant. I think say that is what this person has done to win the love and support of many people in the APC. They tell we come with the opposition. He's there, help to scatter in the country. You understand? They don't wait for it and call them. It's about representation. Even us who in the diaspora, so people in the way be able to put big money and give the APC. But in terms of them committing their time into the activities of the party, it's difficult because of their job. So as much as the money they do something, but also politics is about presence. Your presence should be felt. You for do for your party beyond the money they give. All the time you they get is very, very important. So to answer your question, yes, I agree with you, Mr. Delwyn Thomas from Bristol. Money is a key factor. But when it comes to assessment for give symbol, it's beyond money. I can tell you, because me don't serve that committee day. Maybe certain things that are not going to let for bring them come out because like they give people them just a leakage for let them go do that thing day. But when you want to become MP, you get MP because before they send me out for what make the assessment, then give me guidelines as to what they look for. It's beyond money, I can tell you for sure. So the number is right there. If you want to call and be part of the conversation, please call now and make your points. Should we allow the diaspora to be part of the politics in Sierra Leone? Call us and be part of this conversation. The diaspora, according to President Julius Maada Bio, they say it expunged Section 76A of the Constitution for giving the diaspora the right to vote and to be voted for. But as things stand, we're not able to forget any constitutional instrument we give an inkling say the government of President Julius Maada Bio is serious about their promise to the people in the diaspora and in Sierra Leone. Because let's face it, it's going to be an international best practice. The diaspora gets a huge role when they play. Look at the remittances. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you send money today, you find out, say, if you send 1 million, say they tell you say 1,000 leones. It look like say that thing where the money come, it don't kick in today, because I tried it. And the 3 zeros, if you send money today night and tomorrow, it's not the same anymore. But that is something for another day. But the points where we talk about here tonight is about the diaspora right to vote and to be voted for. It's something that we cannot escape. It's something that is long overdue. The diaspora then gets a role for play. And the other thing we even want to tell the people who are afraid is this. Think as the way with developments they happen these days. There are certain aspects of development that are not local. They are spatial. What do I mean by that? You look at the globalization as a concept. You see, say, Bokutin will happen today, and even this APC U.K online TV platform. Look how all of us come into a platform they talk. Delwyn Thomas, even though he's in the UK, but he's calling from Bristol. People in Sierra Leone and they watch this program. People in America and they watch this program. This is the interconnectedness of the world. Don't mean a Boku things that don't change. Since the establishment of the new nation states, a lot don't change. So therefore, that issue where people they talk about allegiance of somebody, which is the doctrine of perpetual allegiance, they work no more. Because even a very fine or a very unique, or it's not, I wouldn't say unique, something that is very, very core, which is a characteristics of a nation state, is the establishment of diplomatic mission. The question is, why we get a Sierra Leone embassy in the UK if the diaspora are not important? The only reason, or one of the core reasons we make them there, now for make sure say them there for ensure that they look over the affairs of Sierra Leone with Denaya, and then also for create ties them very strong alliance between them and the government of the UK. But the primary function is for us. Anything we need, we get for do with Sierra Leone, we go back to them. So, if that is a characteristic for the formation of the nation state, then the question is, why make people afraid? And why make people hide behind very, very, very unfounded claims about the diaspora? When you hear people, even they cross the below the threshold of what would they say acceptable moral arguments, then they even go below the belt and even tag we into some kind of derogatory, things that they attach with. But that just shows the level of fear we didn't get. We're here, we want to go back home and make sure it's not just politics. Because some can talk say, well, why EBC no more when I go back home past para politics? No, it's not about politics. But I tell you something, politics is the determinant factor. Because if you don't get rights for participate, then you don't get rights for all anybody accountable. And the rights or the civic rights of any citizen, now for all the current governments, all them responsible in some things that will be saying they do wrong. But if you then begin pointing about you not a full citizenship, Sumara Sovola way just they use impilum for arrest, isn't it? It gets a pilum the way they use for arrest people. So that's what it's trying for say, in a nutshell. So ladies and gentlemen, on a call, and I want to apologize, say we don't go 2 weeks, but the APC U.K monologue program will be consistent. I think we don't go too far into this program today, and we don't give a lot for one of the diasporans them. We will continue the fights. As I put on to just now, a man will be in us when the Secretary General. We don't get a fierce exchange, but it's civilized exchange. Push pen them on social media, man, because of this diaspora business. We're not sleeping. It's not over until it's all over. I am not vying for any MP position. But the problem of the people away, the interest of Una, we want to go by. It's also my interest as well. Because let's face it, how we go to support a political party system, BNU, SLPP, NGC, C4C, across the diaspora? Would they support people in back home? Or they sleep within the social media for argue APC versus SLPP versus C4C, NGC, and the likes? And then people there then get the audacity for tell we say we cannot participate in in the politics of countries that will be born. That is very, very, very outrageous, isn't it? And this is why some of us don't decide. And also the president of the TUSIM Global, Superman, we all work in concert across the globe. And then recently, we don't also see the APC Diaspora chairman them, plus committee them put, they don't do a great job just for support this fight. But again, we cannot hold our breath at all. And the reason being is the president, when Dr. Julius Madabio, I don't know if it's Dominion, but that's why they didn't call him, and also Brigadier, make I just go to that side because he like all the nomenclature in there, you know what I mean? I know they put the pill on there, but he promised we say it expunge that. But how can you bring a bill now Parliament, we get something for do the diaspora? You can't play with the political psyche. Mr. President, we're very clever. And that's why today we decided to bring the Secretary General of the APC. And that was our position. A come for carry enforce and say, even though when I put something about diaspora na the bill, it requires a constitutional instrument because there are entrenched clauses them that are to be expunged or amended before this thing succeed. Where are those instruments, Mr. President? Why you not submit them yet? And Parliament cannot do anything. The only way we have to go back to Honorable Kandi Koleum Keller, we understand as Superman be asked about the private member bill, where instance say it put in Parliament. But that's the long road. And somebody will tell me this, say, if Mother Bill wants to do this thing, because everybody's waiting. Yes, the fear factor, you get 1 or 2 MPs then. But again, these are MPs away in a Parliament at time waster. They're not doing anything other than self-aggrandizement. They use them, constituents them, their representation for better themselves. They've not done anything. Seriously, for any MP way, don't go to Parliament and do things them when at the likes of Abdul Kagbo, the AKK, you get the Lai Mara, the Cherry Koku them, and some of all these MPs we are not mentioned, the Daniel Kuruma them, where they don't take up fights in the side of the APC. What is afraid? Elect diaspora bring in money flop any side because the criteria of the APC is also your contribution to the party. And contribution is not only limited to financial contribution. There are other contributions the way it say money not they buy. As I've said earlier, you cannot use money to fight for chieftaincy that is meant for the strong. These guys have sacrificed even their lives. There was a time where Terry Koko began at the streets for just demonstrate in constitutional rights. And then you get the police, we don't turn as a regime for kind of insulates the bio government, then use rubber bullets as we understand it. As that God no more nine protect them. So they're making all these sacrifices. We see recently when this bill was actually brought in Parliament, you see the intimidation, the level of intimidation we MPs can get for go. You see where they bring talks them in Parliament. You see where police they collude with with talks them within the SLPP. Then give them, they left the gates at free swing. Then come in for desecrate with Parliament. Our MPs were subjected into fear, but yet they stood their ground. Thank you all, gallant MPs, and across the aisle. I wish we forget Emerson, because the APC MPs are not talk nothing about this dual citizenship. Let's face it. But Emerson Lamina is in record for support dual citizenship, and that's why the producer of this program they say follow and come on. If they would sweep, but I think it's a connectivity problem. We appreciate you, sir. So this is the thing. We believe say the diaspora then gets a role for play. Then gets a role for play. Because some of these guys, we know them. Now they come out. We know them. They're not strangers. Some of us know Magda Bio and the first lady, Fatima Bio, the London Jets, we know them. When the time is for politics, we'll talk. We know somebody they meet. By the way, every team gets the rights for able for with social mobility. We're not jealous of them. It is their time. God will not ordain, say, President Julius Maada Bio, any kind way it become a president, and Fatima Bio become with first lady. So that is not the case. The problem we get with them, now for left a country, we're very, very established. And look at Boris Johnson. Look at Boris Johnson. When he tried against the British people, they reduce them to submission. Very soon they get a new prime minister in the UK. You cannot lie. Maada Bio has lied several times. Why should we keep him? This is an SNPP person. How many times will President Julius Maada Bio don't go and lie upon lie? This is a president who will go sit down na America, where if we use the opportunity for talk to somebody when a financial conglomerate or somebody when a financial powerhouse, they go tell and say in free education, among other things. Then they provide nutrition for every school going children, now both public school and public public supported schools. Then that's just a lie. Why do you have to lie? If not this part of the world, it's gone. The media and parliament, public opinion, they empire you. How many times will Maada Bio don't tell me? It didn't record and tell me say him don't exhaust all the promises them what he put in manifesto. Is that true? That's a lie. So all these shenanigans when they use for bringing a bill way loaded with constitutional ambiguity, now for find a way for rig elections. So our MPs and plus all of you in the diaspora will support the MPs them with materials. We can always say thank you now all for the efforts they do. This is a fight for all of us. So as we wait for letting count this constitutional instrument, that if Maada Bio serious, we can only wait for now. MPs not get nothing for do. They don't get nothing for do if that not come. Una don't hear it from the man himself. Honorable Abu Kabo. Thank you so much, everybody. This is the monologue program. As I say, the arguments way Francis Gabidon way them premise on the doctrine of perpetual allegiance, it not stand anymore. Because there's been a Supreme Court judgment, even in America, where they try for say citizenship and allegiance are mutually exclusive terms in both the meaning and context. You cannot bring them together or deprive somebody just because they come acquired a citizenship because they need protection now in current host nation. The allegiance is something that is very integral. Now something where it be say internalized in the body politics or in the person itself. Me was sit down and ask, me know some allegiance day. If I not talk, nobody know they know. It's my right. You cannot connect that for punish me just because I say I take a citizenship by naturalization. And even some countries them in Africa, this is what they say. Out of them 39 countries, then some then say, I think Togo is one of them. As long as then they give they allow you for you do a citizenship rights, but as long as the host nation will give you citizenship by naturalization, they're not forcing you for renounce your original citizenship in your country of birth. So let us put safeguards into all of these things. Yes, like the last caller be say, we cannot give a blanket amnesty. There should be a control. Because if we give a blanket amnesty, then obviously it will lead to a slippery slope effect, and that is very dangerous for even the security of the country. What I mean by that, if you left the doors open citizenship, any Tom, Dick, and Harry they come in with evil plan for infiltrates with citizenship system and can cause problem. But when you put safeguards, you will able to know the Becky from the Atoku. This is where I draw the curtains down. The monologue program will come out from the APC U.K. online TV platform. I want to ask all man we join with today now this program. Please help we continue share this program. Let people go get education about the dual citizenship. Let people continue for watch the link. Please share the link far and wide on your Facebook page, Now you WhatsApp groups every day. Please help us. Let the message reach to other people. They will not get the time at this present moment who will live watch the program. Say the arguments when they put in the parliament by the APC folks them a big lie about the dual citizenship. Currently, out of the 54 countries in Africa, 72% of those countries they allow dual citizenship. It's best practice. Simple as it is. Only 14. Only 14 don't left. And they're 14 and then they join. That's small. So why we don't already get an amended act? Why we not finish the work? So the responsibility lie now in the leader of government's business or even the attorney general. Do the needful and make sure that these arguments between dual citizenship holders and those we want for barricade the political system that the country is actually resolved once and for all. We need to close them off. That is what we need to do or make sure that Sierra Leone go be full. Diaspora then gets a lot to offer at the governance of the country. Most diasporas them, not to people away just they say, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Because what I kid you not, no political system, no political party in Sierra Leone, they were perfect. So what we do is to bring in people that we get courage, we get the courage and ingenuity for make sure they're able to act in the interest of the people and the suffering masses in the country. This is what this is about. So I want to say thank you now when I know they with me. And I want to say sorry for the past 2 weeks. This program, they continue next Thursday by God in power with another topic. But in the interim, we ask you, as we end the program, please help us share, and share so that other people will forget the benefits of this. The dual citizenship should be maintained in Sierra Leone for several reasons. Remittances, as I explained, and also the Women Empowerment Bill, because majority of the women who stand in Sierra Leone, the vast majority of that number is coming from the diaspora, as the example I don't show in our constituency, the districts when I put local districts in 2018. 5 out of 5 women and we go aspire for symbol. 4 are all from the diaspora. So what is happening? Because our people back home, they're scared to death. Politics is very hostile. Look, the way they treat women them. The bully boys, they're not getting no respect. But we get diaspora women, they will get mine for standing and tell and say, I cannot take it. And by the way, before I conclude, if we do what they call a citizenship audit in Sierra Leone right now, we start from Sylvia Blyden, Aki Sawyer, the sacked AG, Winner Priscilla. You come to Femi Claudio School. You come to I don't call Lara Taylor, Pierce. A whole lot of them, even the one that within a civil society into the private sector, where they talk for people in Sierra Leone. They've lived in some points in their life, they don't live in the diaspora, whether for study. And I don't get evidence, but if we do audit, it tell you, say, a huge number of women them were very established in Sierra Leone, then get connection with the diaspora. So imagine if we say we discriminate them across the board. Because the missing points now the development trajectory of Sierra Leone is the lack of middle class. Because we don't get a middle class. And no country not develop if you don't get a middle class in that country there. And where is that middle class coming from? The diaspora. And also some home base that we will establish. Middle class is very, very important because research tell we say in a development agenda, the middle class will be the source of wealth creation and then power. We don't have that, even if we have a semblance of a middle class, but the number is just insignificant. So, hey, Francis Gabidon and others, there's a lot of ingredients, the arguments in favor of the diaspora right to vote. And Lastly, currently, even with political system, it's not entirely owned by we, the citizens. Them. There is a greater amount of influence from the international community. Who are these people? Without being stereotypical, they're white people, they're Westerners, them. But they get a big say now with politics. And even there's this suspicion that they don't create institutions the way don't bring what them call a state de facto sovereign, a state inside states. Then they pull the wheel, the back of the governance system. Most of the decisions them. Look what's in the happen, even with the current government. When you ask them about the way recklessly they don't hold the economy, then they tell you, say, IMF say this, IMF say it's okay, IMF say things are moving in the right direction. They're telling everybody that IMF. So for them, as long as IMF is concerned, or if IMF is okay, they feel say they don't do good work. So that is, it's called psychological colonization. Mentally, we still colonize. So if, quote and unquote, the white people still get influence now with governance system, what about us? We bonded. Why we not for tell we say we not forget role for play? I want to say thank you so much for being part of this very educative program tonight. I hope you don't get a lot for take. This is not the monologue program, and this is where I bring the curtain down. And I want to say thank you to my producer, thank you to the technical team, all the monologue team, and in the APC U.K online TV platform, and also Comrade Arun Pape, the Manso Kagbo, the coordinator himself, Dr. Amadou Denke, the Mo Bangura, the Sweet Bonita, the Superman, the Philip, and others. Delwin Thomas, of course, is my producer. I want to say thank you so much for what they do for the APC U.K be the leading branch now the diaspora. There's no question about it. Now I want to say thank you to the outgoing executive. I say thank you to all the general membership for what they do for make sure that we maintain the APC. Thank you so much. And this is where I say Tata Mina ABS. Very good evening.